Hi, I'm Jeff Hellmer, and I'm Director of Jazz Studies at the University of Texas at Austin. And welcome to our video cast about our new CD made by the UT Jazz Orchestra called In the Thick of It. In the Thick of It represents the best playing and writing of the members of the UT Jazz program. And I think one of the most wonderful things about this recording is the very strong, vibrant, and unique student compositions that are included on the record. So the students that are represented on the record are Gabriel Santiago from Brazil, Mike Sailors from Michigan, and Marcus Wilcher from California. We also have one composition on the record from our jazz faculty member, John Mills. So you're going to hear each of those composers talk a little bit about their pieces on the record. It's a real privilege for me to work with these great musicians, and I hope you enjoy both the music and this video cast.
Hi, my name is Mike Sailors. I'm a jazz trumpet player, composer, arranger here at UT, and I composed the first track on the CD for KD, and I composed that track in honor of Kenny Dorham, who actually was born here in Austin, Texas, and grew up off 12th Street. And what I tried to do in that composition was basically just sort of embody his playing approach, his compositional approach into the big band format. His playing and writing really set him apart in an era that was dominated by a lot of great trumpet players who got a lot of the spotlight that he didn't. So during a lot of his career he went largely unnoticed, and I tried to bring attention to him, not that he really needed my help, but try to bring attention to him and his career and his writing through that composition. So hope you enjoy it.
Hi, my name is Gabriel Santiago. I'm from Brazil, and I wrote two pieces for the UT Jazz Orchestra CD. Both of them are pretty long-form, fully developed compositions. And the first one is called Poupée, which is a French word for doll. And this piece is strongly influenced by Brazilian music. It has mainly three themes. One of them is a Brazilian shoulder-like melody. Another theme is sort of like a sorrowful, nostalgic melody, kind of evoking some of the music of the Argentinian composer Astor Piazzolla. And there's another theme which appears in the beginning of the composition, which is a chorale four-part theme, which is like developed towards the middle and the end of the composition and leads to this blasting playing from the band with some vocals, and which also leads to this sort of minimalistic Steve Reich type phasing technique thing. But it's a very vivid piece, and it's got ups and downs, and it's very fun to listen to, so I hope you enjoy it.
Hi, I'm John Mills, and I'm the composer of In the Thick of It from the UT Jazz Orchestra CD. This tune is based around cross rhythms, maybe more than any other subject. I have lots of different sections that not only have sort of combating rhythms between, say, the bass and the melody line, but once those syncopations and cross rhythms are established, I will layer on yet another rhythm to sort of make a very dense rhythmic complex that's all on a kind of an interlocking grid. There are a number of sections like this that all connect one after the other to make what turned out to be a 96-bar form. I discovered that when I was, a lot of the compositions that first attracted me had very interesting bridges, and the bridge would be my favorite part of the tune, and in a way this composition is a string of bridges.
Hey, I'm Marcus Wilcher. I wrote two tunes for this jazz orchestra album here at UT. And the first one, which was, let me say, it was an excellent performance by the band. It's on this tune called Good Night, Sweet Dreams. And I wrote it to kind of score some nightmares that I was having back in the day. Pretty dark stuff, but you know, I got through it and things got better. But the piece kind of evolves from this really quasi-cerebral chordal based thing that goes into this kind of groove and then goes right back into the darkness stuff. And the solo sections are just played beautifully by the band. And I think it has a nice flow to it, but it's really on the darker side of my current writing. Back from the Abyss. Yeah, it was the, originally it's the third movement in this suite that I wrote. The first two movements are been Into the Abyss and The Abyss. And the Back from the Abyss is supposed to be like telling of the hero's journey coming back from battle or some adventure. And it's got its ups and its downs. Really exciting piece to listen to. Improvisation over it's amazing. And I think there's a little bit of something in there for everyone to grasp onto.
So the only ballad on the record is my tune. It's called It's Been Real Michigan. And I composed it right before I moved there. It's the second movement of the suite, actually. I got commissioned to write for a jazz festival in Lansing, Michigan called the Old Town Jazz Festival. And it's the first serious piece of music that I ever wrote, and it was sort of a reflection about my time in Michigan. I moved there when I was 25, and I really felt like I became an adult while I was there. And a lot of people think that I guess the title suggests that I was ready to move away from there, but in reality, I was thankful for everything that I had to go through there. It was sort of a challenging time. Like I said, it was a growing up experience, and I really enjoyed my time there. And I wanted the piece to reflect that sort of seriousness that one goes through when they're becoming an adult. So, hope you enjoy it.
So the CD closer is called Verdes Olhos, which means green eyes in Portuguese. This piece is sort of like a cross-style, third stream, leaning towards concert music. That was the idea behind it. And this piece pictures pretty well the sort of like composition approach I have been following since I got here at UT, which is trying a more kind of symphonic approach to the jazz orchestra. It has no improvisation on the entire piece. It's a long piece. It has four main themes. The first one is like a 3-note gesture that sort of like acts as like a foundation for the entire piece. There are two themes. They're Brazilian-like, very like folk-oriented, and features two rhythms from the northeast of Brazil. One is called the galope, and the other one is called marcha rancho, which is sort of like a slow march type of rhythm. And the fourth theme is a super romantic piano prelude, and which is like developed and orchestrated as the music unfolds. I also had the opportunity to use some extended techniques, performance like the piano striking the low strings of the piano, and creates a very cool effect. And this gesture also ties the piece together, and it's also, I mean, again, a long piece, but it has a lot of curve, and it's very fun to listen to, so I hope you enjoy it.